Hello there, and welcome to Dr. T for today, July the 18th. We're starting off with Stage 1, which has 43,000 hit points. Now, with Stage 1, pretty straightforward, go up, just make sure your tanks end up on the right-hand side of that HQ, really. Like, as long as you do that, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna get some loot. Just throw some shocks down on the sniper tower if you really have to. If they're causing you enough trouble, it's okay. Move on to Stage 2. Now, I don't know what they were doing with Stage 2, but you're looking at 140,000 hit points, which is a buttload of hit points. So, my suggestion, go up the right-hand side. Obviously, you'll take out the mortar and the rocket launcher, which will be trying to do damage to you, but most importantly, you're going to stay away from that pretty high-level cannon for Stage 2. If you've got lower-level troops, that cannon could do some damage. And basically, all you have to do is flare up to almost where those little barrels are, I guess. That'll take you right into the HQ. You'll be nice and safe. Now, if you've got really low-level tanks, maybe load up like a boat or two of Zookas, because there's not a lot that you really have to worry about. Your tanks are going to crush the rocket launcher and mortar, but 140,000 hit points is enough. That might cause you some headaches. Which takes us to Stage 3, 148k on that HQ. Now, I landed on the left-hand side, just out of range of the shock launcher. If you land full boats, you may not be so lucky, but you should have some of your tanks able to, take out those defenses while the other ones can't, and it'll all work out in the end. And basically let your tanks follow the natural path of those defenses until one of them starts splitting away, and you want to send them towards the machine gun and the flamethrowers, because basically there's a bunch of stuff on the left hand side and there's a boom cannon on the right hand side, but if you go right up the middle, it should make things nice and easy. Now here's the thing though, do not flare to where I flared. That is in range of the boom cannon. You actually want to go on the left hand side of those barrels. That was my bad. My tanks can deal with it. Yours, I don't know, maybe not so much. So keep that in mind. Go up the left-hand side of the barrel. You're still going to be way out of range of everything else, and you're going to get a nice, easy cruise to loot. Excuse me. Moving on after a significant period of pew-pew, because there's still 150,000 hit points almost on this level 3. Stage 4, if you thought we had a lot of hit points on Stage 2 and 3, Stage 4, blowing it right out of the water. 223,000 hit points? WTF M8? I've been learning that from the internets. They teach you how to talk good and stuff now. So, 323,000 hit points. And here's the other killer thing. A bunch of boom cannons are in here, and you're looking at double hit points, so those boom cannons are pretty beefy. You have to go around the right hand side and do the long jog. So what I might suggest this time around is, if you're really low level and you're kind of concerned on whether your tanks will be able to finish these bad boys off, go heavy Zooka, just because it has a higher DPS threshold and you can kind of plow through basically the same path. You just might have to be more careful with the rocket launchers, because they'll skip over your heavies and nuke your Zookas, and you don't want that kind of stuff happening. Now if your tanks can do it, or if you just boosted your troop damage, because honestly boosting troop damage would help a lot with these massive HP HQs. So either way, however you do it, go along the top, flare right up into the top corner. It'll keep you away from the sniper towers and the flamethrowers and all the crazy things that want to damage your poor tanks, and you should be able to basically let the tanks take the non-damaging you know, defenses down, it's like a little treasure trail of GBE, you know, instead of breadcrumbs, it's little statues and barrels and goos and whatnot. And then throw your damage at this bad boy. Do whatever you can do to this HQ to make it go bye-bye. Hopefully that means just letting your tanks finish it off easily, but I'm not going to judge. That's a pretty impressive amount of hit points. Which takes us on to Stage 5, which has 400k. Alright. I'm getting it, okay? The theme of today is all of the HP, because all of the bases have all of the HP. That's just the way that it is. So I basically landed just south of the machine guns, just so my tanks could go up and kill them and get a little bit of extra GBE. You might not have to do this, you know, if you're swimming in GBE and you're not worried about it, by all means. But there is a boom cannon behind the HQ that you're going to have to take out, and that bad boy has about 18,000 hit points on it. So you're going to need enough GBE to take that out. Also, there's landmines all over the joint, so you might want to save up a little bit extra just so you could toss, you know, critters or artillery or barrage or whatever you need to at the boom mines, just to make sure your tanks are good and safe. Now, from the very bottom corner, you should be able to let your tanks kind of travel up, and they're going to take out whatever defenses are left, and you're going to end up with a mortar maybe, and a sniper tower and a rocket launcher shooting. Nothing scary, nothing that should, you know, scare your medics. You should be able to cruise right on into a nice easy win, and move on to Stage 6, which, honestly, after Stage 5, not so scary. At least it goes back to normal, back to a more sane amount of hit points, because on Stage 6 we have 310,000 hit points, and that's, you know, pretty normal. However, it is once again another one of those long distance jogging type of maps. So you're gonna land on the right hand side, go all the way up into the corner, throw a bunch of GBE down on all sorts of boom cannons and shock launchers, and really all of the things that can do scary stuff to your tanks as they slowly work their way up the right hand side. The good news is the, I guess, southernmost shock launcher, the one that I didn't blow up basically, you don't have to blow that bad boy up. If you just hug to the top, you can kind of skirt around it and save yourself some GBE. Same goes for that boom cannon down there that I've got sitting there. However, that said, the caveat to that is you have to pay very close attention to your tank positioning. You gotta make sure to keep everybody up top, or they're gonna start getting picked off and or stunned and then picked off, because that's kind of what that combo will do to you, I guess. I don't know. And as you can see, my tanks want nothing more than to drift down into all of the danger. They're just like, hey, shock launcher, yes, let's do this. Also, nice bonus, there are a couple sniper towers up here in the top corner there. All of those can be taken out with one shock. So if you can get up here, even if you're hurting on GBE because you've had to throw so much to take out all the boom cannons and the shock launchers and all the crazy things, one shock, you're gonna knock everything out. And once you've taken out the defenses, as you can see, the whole top is pretty much cleared because of the previous bombing of the boom cannons and whatnot, and you can cruise right in here. Nice, easy, slow ride to winning, unless one of your tanks decides, hey, I'm gonna go way too far forward, kind of like mine did, and your medics are gonna have to, like, keep it standing. But bonus crystals, so hey, I'm gonna go with it. Moving on to Stage 7, 437,000 hit points, which is actually pretty normal for a Stage 7. Like, that's not as scary as the 400k Stage 5. Or for that matter, I guess the 300k Stage... You get the point. So, I decided to go left-hand side. I know you can go right-hand side, but there are a lot of freaking cannons there. There's a lot of boom cannons and shock launchers, all within range of the HQ, to the point where, you know, GBE is going to be really tight. By landing over here on the left-hand side, as you can see, we have like a freaking field of machine guns that we can just farm the crap out of. Just blow them up because they're machine guns, and why not? That's what they're there for, right? They're not there to kill anything because we've got tanks. So be wary of the boom cannon, obviously, that guards the field. You know, it's kind of like being the rabbit, and the boom cannon's the farmer, and no, maybe I'm the only one that read those Peter Rabbit books. That might be a Canadian thing, I don't know. Anyways, go up into the top left-hand corner. There's a whole bunch of free GBE things here, which is fantastic, and yes, there is a shock launcher, which is going to be a pain in your butt, but just go with it. Also, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it because there is a lot of blowing up of the boom cannons. The boom cannons have 17,500 hit points, and the shock launchers have 22k. So if you're throwing Barrage, it's kind of nice because you've got all these sniper towers and cannons surrounding the boom cannons, and by tossing that AoE stuff, it just it softens everything up. It makes it nice and easy. And again, this level, because of the path we're taking, it's another one of those situations where you have to be very careful and pay a lot of attention on where your tanks are going, because they will instantly try drifting down to that boom cannon, and they will start getting shot because they're stupid, and there's no reason for them to be down there. And unfortunately, I was a little bit sloppy, which is why I end up with as many losses as I do. But you guys can learn from my mistakes, and that's the important thing. So basically, just keep flaring everything up as high as possible, all the way in. Eventually, they will just start kicking in on the HQ because it's the closest thing, with the exception of the handful of ridiculous tanks that are just like, no, we must drift down to the boom cannon. And it got so bad, I basically got tired of trying to re-flare, so I was just like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna throw some stuns, we're gonna race this, and everybody can live happily ever after. Now, if you've got the GBE to do it, you could just blow up that one boom cannon, and then you don't have to worry about it at all. Anyways, hopefully this has been helpful, hopefully this has been entertaining, and most importantly, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day.